Welcome back on Heated Discussions. I'm Eli Ash, joined with Benji and Eddie.
Yes.
As we've got a hot topic to talk about today, the NBA draft, and I'm going to be asking each of y'all who you think was the biggest steal of the draft. Benji, you go first.
I personally think that Kyle Filipowski, Isaiah Collier, and Matas Buzelis were all equally steals. Obviously, Kyle Filipowski was on almost every mock draft supposed to be drafted in the first round, but for off-the-court reasons, he wasn't taken. Isaiah Collier, before the season started, some mocks had him as the number 1 pick, but he fell all the way down to 29. Matas Buzelis, most people before the draft had him top 5, but he fell all the way to 11 to the Bulls, which he's definitely very happy about, as it's his hometown team.
If you're talking, I have multiple steals, but if you're talking about late in the second round, I'm going with Jamal Shead. Jamal Shead, at the end of the NCAA tournament, he was one of the finalists for the Wooden Award. And he's also really good at spacing the floor. He can shoot, he can drive, he's really strong. He's not an old player to be drafted. My second one, also Kyle Filipowski. But I wouldn't consider him too much of a steal because he should have been in the first round and he went 32nd. For a first round guy, I'm going with Nikola Topic, when he was drafted to the Thunder from Serbia. He's kind of like Terrence Mann. He's about good in most areas. You can count on him to do all the little things. And I'm surprised he went that late, but I think the Thunder are really going to benefit from it.
Well,
You're talking about Terrence Mann as his comp. Why would anyone draft him if in the lottery of Terrence Mann was his comp?
Well, so Terrence Mann is decent at most things. That's what I'm saying.
However, Terrence Mann most of the time wouldn't even be a starter on most NBA teams. It's because the Los Angeles Clippers have a lack of forward depth now that Paul George is gone, that he's probably going to be stopping.
I'm comparing him to Terrence Mann because he's probably not going to be a starter, but he's good at most things. He can impact the game in little ways, as I've talked about before, and I think he'll just fit well in the Thunder's roster.
I think that's still Can I go?
Yeah, I just have one thing to say. Yeah. If you don't think he's a starter, then why is it a steal to get him at 12th? Most lottery picks are expected to at least be starters, so why is getting a guy who's not going to be able to start a steal of getting him at 12th?
He's just going to be good with the Thunder, and I'm surprised no one took him earlier. That's what I'm saying.
Actually, most people in the depth chart, at least, they say that the Thunder won't even be playing him. They have so many forwards. They won't need him.
I've looked at the Thunder roster. I've looked at him in the depth chart. In my brain, I'm saying Nikola Topic is getting played no matter what. He's going to get played sometimes.
Well, he's going to be injured for at least half the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be able to get back into the rotation by the end of the season when the Thunder are in full contention mode, probably competing for a number 1 seed.
Okay, I'd like to question something to you now. Kyle Filipowski. Why would the Thunder draft him if they have a guy like Lauri Markkanen who's the exact same as him?
Lauri Markkanen?
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen. He's a 7-footer who shoots and dribbles.
He's not on the Thunder.
Jazz. Why would the Jazz drive Kyle Filipowski if they got Lauri Markkanen?
My personal steal of the draft is Matas Buzelis, not Kyle Filipowski.
You said Kyle Filipowski.
I was just naming different steals. But
I know. Those were my 3 different steals, too. You said Kyle Filipowski on your list. I had Nikola Topic on my list, but my main steal was Jamal Shead.
All right, I'm sorry if I wasn't clear, but Matas Buzelis is my number 1 steal.
Well, you know what PTI means. It kind of means arguments, saying
Well, that got heated at the end. Good for another episode of Heated Discussions. Tune in next time. I'm Eli, this is Benji, and this is Eddie.